If you live for deals, you'll love Perfectly Picked Games. We run live auctions twice a week on the Whatnot app. Tuesdays for board games, Fridays for toys, both at 8:30 p.m. Eastern. Each show is packed with great picks, awesome prizes, and surprise finds. Whether you're a collector or you just love a good deal, this is your new favorite place to shop. Use code GOLDENMOJO and save 10% on your first purchase.
Chasers, hop on in the car with Golden Jay and take a ride down Route 66 as you explore all the haunted and abandoned places left down a road long ghosted. And you never know what hitchhiker might get picked up along the way. So buckle up as we take a haunted trip down 66.
Hello, all of my paranormal freaks out there. It is I, Golden Jay, taking a trip down Haunted 66. That's right. We're making that run from Chicago to Santa Monica. We're stopping to talk about all of those haunted paranormal locations along the way. I hope you're enjoying it. We got a few weeks in. What is this? Episode 7, I think. So you got 7 weeks of Route 66. So hopefully you're enjoying it. I mean, if you're not, let me know what needs to be different. There's no banter. It's just talking about the paranormal along the 66. I'm excited to be doing it. I'm excited to be researching it. I'm excited to be finding out a lot of interesting history facts of some of these places along the way, especially everything we've run into in Alton. Like I said, the most haunted small town in America. I mean, I don't know. What did I count? I forget. Let's see. I didn't even give an actual number. Yeah, I got 12 altogether. 12 haunted locations in Alton alone. That's not even counting what we're going to be going to St. Louis and Joplin and where else are we going? We're going to cover them all. Santa Fe is on the list. Tulsa's on the list. Of course, L.A. and Santa Monica is going to finish us out. But right now, we're hanging out in Alton, Illinois, just a few miles south of Springfield. What'd I say? About 87 miles or something like that. 87 miles from Springfield down to Alton. Nice little day trip for all you people over there in Springfield, Illinois. Head on down, roam around. Some of those places are not open to public, though, so they don't do tours and shit like that. You so remember that. All right, guys, let's get into this. We are going to go check out the old Alton prison, which is also known as the Confederate prison. The Alton prison first is Illinois' first state penitentiary, housed Confederate soldiers during the Civil War. Many prisoners, particularly during a smallpox outbreak, died and were buried in and around the prison. The remaining section of the prison walls and the surrounding area are a focal point for the reported paranormal. All right. The Hop Hollow Road is a road near the cemetery where the bodies were reportedly dumped, is said to be haunted by the spirits of those said soldiers. Visitors and local report seeing ghostly figures, shadows, and hearing unexplained noises. Some have reported feeling cold spots and experience a sense of unease in the area. Some of the explanations of the haunting are often attributed to the tragic death of the Confederate soldiers and the way that they were treated, particularly the burial practices. Some believe the limestone bricks used in the prison's construction and some local buildings may retain energy from the past. All right. The Alton prison opened in 1833 as the first Illinois state penitentiary and was closed in 1860 when the last prisoners were moved to the new facility in Joliet. In late 1861, an urgent need arose to relieve the overcrowding at two St. Louis prisons. On December 31st, 1861, Major General Henry Halleck, commander of the Department of Missouri, ordered Lieutenant Colonel James McPherson to Alton to Alton for an inspection of the closed penitentiary. Colonel McPherson reported that the prison could be made into a military prison and house up to 1,750 prisoners, with improvements estimated to cost about $2,415. The first prisoner arrived at the Alton Federal Military Prison on February 9th, 1862, and members of the 13th U.S. Infantry were assigned to guard, with Colonel Sidney Burbank commanding. During the next 3 years, over 11,764 Confederate prisoners would pass through the gates of the Alton prison. Of the four different classes of prisoners housed at Alton, Confederate soldiers made up the most of the population. Citizens, including several women, were imprisoned here for treasonable actions in making anti-union statements, aiding the escape of Confederate, etc. Others, classified as bushwhackers or guerrillas, were imprisoned for acts against the government, such as bridge burning and railroad vandalism. Conditions in the prison were harsh, and morality rates were above average for a Union prison. Hot, humid summers and cold Midwestern winters took a heavy toll on the prisoners, already weakened by poor nourishment and inadequate clothing. The prison was overcrowded much of the time, and sanitary facilities were inadequate. Pneumonia and diphtheria were common killers, but contagious diseases such as smallpox and rubella were the most feared. When smallpox infection became alarmingly high in the winter of 1862 and the spring of 1863, a quarantine hospital was located on an island across the Mississippi from the prison. Up to 300 prisoners and soldiers died and are buried on the island, now underwater. The cemetery in North Alton that belonged to the state of Illinois is used for most that died. A monument that lists 1,534 names of Confederate soldiers that are known to have died. An additional number of civilians and Union soldiers were victims of disease and illness. During the war, several different units were assigned to guard at Alton. The 13th U.S. Infantry was followed by the 77th Ohio Infantry and the 37th Iowa Infantry, the 10th Kansas Infantry, and the 144th Illinois Infantry. Whew, that was a lot of different infantry units that came and went out of there. Formed at Alton specifically to serve as prison guards, and the Illinois 144th was almost completely made up of Alton area residents. The prison closed July 7th, 1865, when the last prisoner was released and sent to St. Louis. The buildings were torn down over the next decade, and the land eventually used by the city as a park named after the Joel Chandler Harris character, Uncle Remus, from Song of the South. Stone from the prison buildings is found in the walls of other structures all over Alton area. The Confederate cemetery contains the remains of Confederate soldiers and civilians who died while prisoners at the Alton prison, and the monument includes the name of the soldiers who died. Of course, with all of this death, there were bound to be some ghost stories thrown into the mix. One comes shortly after the end of the war. Some young boys decided to canoe over to the island for some overnight ghost hunting. While there, the boys claimed to have seen the eyeless spirit of a Confederate soldier who chastised them for trespassing. The boys were terrified and immediately left. God, if Golden Jay could talk, we'd be in good shape, right? Oh, thank God you guys keep listening. Reports of Confederate ghosts are not uncommon in the years after the war, but they were far from supernatural. Frequently, former Confederates would dress up in white sheets and terrorize the living, particularly recently freed slaves, by claiming they had risen from the dead. Eventually, this ghost prank would morph into the Ku Klux Klan as we know it today. Granted, this doesn't really disprove any Confederate ghosts, but it does provide a logical explanation behind the paranormal. So there you go, a little history. The boys went across to the island to do a little ghost hunting, and got the shit scared out of them. And of course, the Confederates who would dress up in white sheets and just to scare the fucking. Come on, guys. You had nothing better to do with your time. Hey, man, that's how the Klan was created as we know it today. All right. We are going to head over to the Mineral Springs Hotel, which opened in 1914 and was opened by the Lure brothers, August and Herman, and is said to be built with the rubble from the old Alton prison. The hotel sat on a natural spring known for its healing water, which contained high levels of sulfur. The swimming pool in the basement was filled with the spring's proprietary cold. Listen, it was filled with this water, and the brothers would begin selling it to customers by the bottle. During World War II, business at the hotel slowed dramatically. In 1941, the mineral pool was drained, and by 1971, the hotel was closed. But a mere 7 years later, the building would be purchased and renovated into a small shopping mall. And, as you might guess, this is when the ghost stories began to circulate. There are actually several ghosts said to be haunting Mineral Springs. For the sake of time, let's just run over through a list of the most popular. We are going to talk about the Jasmine Lady. One of Mineral Springs' most infamous former guests have come to be known as the Jasmine Lady. Many people over the years have claimed to have seen or smelled a woman walking the halls late at night. The scent of jasmine wafting through the hallways has been reported by patrons over the years. A woman has even been spotted repeatedly, in one particular stairway, giving rise to the rumor that it may have been a guest who was murdered there years ago. Some may say by her jealous husband while having an affair with another guest. Oops. Guess she got caught. Let's talk about Cassandra, an 11-year-old girl said to have drowned in the pool on her own birthday party. Rumored she was with her grandmother having the greatest day of her life when she drowned. Her apparition is often spotted around the drain pool. Cassie's ghost is known for her love of marbles. Many times, visitors leave marbles in the deep end only to find them rolled up to the shallow end later on. How about the drunken artist? He is, I believe it's a he. Let me look. Yeah. He said to have he is said to have been run up a huge bar tab he couldn't pay off and instead offered to paint a mural behind the bar. However, he died before finishing. It is rumored that he unalived himself, but sticks around to hear visitors tell stories about him. He must have a Golden J ego. Ha! Lou Harwood allegedly shot himself in the hotel bar only a few years after it opened and reportedly still haunts that area too. His obituary is hung to commemorate him in the hotel lobby. Yeah, honor. I can't even say that fucking word. Jesus. Pearl Sands. She died in one of the upstairs hotel rooms, and her spirit energy remains there to this day. Her obituary is framed and hangs at the hotel. Historical records indicate she checked into Mineral Springs on a Monday in 1965. Bet there was a lot of Mondays in 1965. Only to be found dead of an intentional overdose on Wednesday morning. Now, Pearl's former room is said to be the emotional hotspot of the building's ghostly activity. Visitors to the space have reported wild mood swings and a heavy feeling. Additionally, a woman's figure said to match Pearl's description has been seen sitting in a chair left in the room. All right, let's talk about Clarence, a Granite City man who was staying at the hotel and taking swimming lessons. One day he went down to the pool early and dove into the shallow end and died. So say he is still there. Some, apparently I forgot to write the word some. Some say he is still there and you can find his wet footprints around the pool. Yee. Couldn't have been anything to do with that fat guy that just walked out the door. Sarah Reddish is also known to still be a guest at the hotel. Sarah and her son were briefly Mineral Spirits guests while her son was on the run from the law. But the law soon caught up with them. After a chaotic arrest, Sarah reportedly fell down the hotel stairs and died from her injuries. Aside from these are multiple suicide, murders, accidental drownings, etc. The problem is there is no record of any of these events happening. Chances are, if there were a slew of deaths at a popular hotel for several decades, the hotel would have ceased to be so. Or at the very least, it would draw a lot of attention from the newspaper. Today, the mall houses several small businesses, including the Museum of Torture Devices, and several New Age metaphysical stories for those interested. And yes, they still have their own exclusive ghost tours. Definitely, this would recommend the Mineral Springs and maybe take the tour. Go check it out. I mean, if they've got it and it's, I mean, look at all of the things that they're seeing in there. The Granite City Man, Sarah, Pearl Sands, and Sarah and Cassandra, the drunken artist. I mean, that is a ton of different people that have that all died in this hotel. So, I mean, and it just sounds cool. The Mineral Springs Hotel. I mean, it just sounds fucking cool as shit. Yeah, I love it. All right, you guys, there you go. We covered a couple there with the old Alton prison and, of course, Mineral Springs Hotel. Just a couple more spots in Alton, Illinois, as we make our trip down the Haunted 66. All right, till next week, guys. Keep it spooky, and I'll see you on the other side. Thank you for listening to the United States of Paranormal podcast. Check us out at UnitedStatesOfParanormal.com, where you can find our Spotlight of the Month, Fan of the Month, and all of our amazing merchandise. Or you can find us on social media at Facebook at the United States of Paranormal, Instagram at the United States of Paranormal, and YouTube at the United States of Paranormal 1795. And don't forget, we are now on Patreon. Just go to patreon.com/2sop.
Please check out the other podcasts in the Golden Mojo Entertainment Network of podcasts. Golden 80s, Indiana Chiefs Fans, Gridiron Kings, Murd Nerds, The Nostalgia Tug, Real Terror, and the Puck Yeah podcast. But you can still find Golden Image Podcast, A Quart of Books and Booze, and The Call Guys, wherever you stream your favorite podcasts.
And if you have a location or a story that you would like for us to check into, please email us at the United States of Paranormal at gmail.com. Please like, rate, and subscribe wherever you listen. Thank you for all of your support. Bye.